Oracles! Oracle Tim here from Oracle Investments. Today is part 2 of explaining the exponential trajectory of Tesla stock. Today we're going to be discussing 2024 and 2025 and what those years have in store for us. And the way exponential growth works is a lot like this channel here. The more people watch and subscribe this channel, the more YouTube says the algorithms sends out to more people. And then more people watch and subscribe, and then YouTube says, all right, well, we'll send it out to more people. And it just continues that spiral, and it's not just a linear growth. It's, I've seen this channel grow. It's like, all right, well, we're doing, growing 25 subscribers a day. But no, because as we grow, 25 becomes 40, becomes 50, becomes 100 a day, and it just grows exponentially. And by the way, thank you so much for that. You guys are awesome. But that's what's going to happen with Tesla, and the more we get people in vehicles and the more Teslas hit the road, the more people want Teslas. The more people who want Teslas, the more people buy Teslas. The more Teslas that are on the road, the more people do it. And that grows exponentially, so it's not a linear growth. Well, everything starts from the ground up. So the foundation of the company is going to be their factories, and we have 2 new factories ramping up in 2024. I'm guessing, based off my previous videos, China and India, maybe Russia. Not entirely sure where they're going to be, but most likely 2 new factories coming in 2024 ramping up. And with these 2 factories, I'm looking at a year-end total production of about 5 million vehicles. And as Juan had reminded me in the comments, every time Tesla opens up a new factory, they find better efficiencies and they become better and better and they can ramp faster. So 5 million is my base case number. It might be higher because if they can ramp faster with every factory opening, there's a strong chance that they're going to be above that number. And I believe that 2024 is going to be the year that we hit FSD level 4. The Apple car is looking to have their car out around then as well, and I know Apple is working heavily on FSD. So timing-wise, it makes sense that 2024 is the year that FSD kind of becomes a much bigger deal in the EV world. And because FSD is going to become much more of a reality, EV adoption is going to be pushing about 30% in 2024 as far as the global automotive market goes. And something to pay attention to as an investor is monitor all the gas stations, like local gas stations that you have. You're going to start to see EV charging stations popping up and more of them as time goes on. And this is just really solidifying the fact that EVs are going to be taking over. And the sooner that happens, the sooner the chargers get into those gas stations, the sooner EV adoption is going to be complete. And what we're going to start seeing in 2024 is some of these gas stations, if they don't start adopting these charging stations and putting them in, they're going to start losing customers. Most of these gas stations don't make profits on their gas. They make profits on the convenience store goods, the snacks and the drinks and whatever they sell there. So if they start losing customers because they aren't going in for gas because they need to charge their vehicle, then gas stations are going to start going out of business. And I think in 2024, we're going to see about 25% of the United States have insurance. And I know Elon said every state is difficult. Some states are way more difficult than others. It's not an easy challenge, but I still think that 25% of the US will have insurance. And at this point, we're really going to see the green energy boom taking place. And Tesla Solar, Tesla Energy should be pushing $1.5 to $2 billion in revenue. And one of the big changes for the stock in 2024 is that you're going to start to see a lot of institutions really start to understand what is happening with Tesla. And so the large institutional money that isn't currently in Tesla is going to start investing and investing more heavily because they can see now with their own projections what's truly going to happen. And at this point, I see margins for Tesla in 2024 pushing that 37% mark. They're going to see some great growth, and they've proven with the factories, even though there's a factory pullback with gross margin, that they're going to still figure out that efficiency and ramp, and they're going to take that hit less and less. And even though they'll have the $25,000 car, which will be a lower margin vehicle, they will still be able to compensate for that with the software revenue that they have, with any insurance, with FSD. All of these things are going to make up for those margins and push them higher. And so my predictions for the stock price at the end of 2024 is going to be $700. So pre-split, that'd be about $3,500 from where we are today. And now part of me wants to say it might be a little bit higher, but don't forget here in the US, 2024 is an election year, a presidential election year. Every single time we have a presidential election year, the September through October timeframe, there's a lot of volatility in the market. It tends to be pretty red. So I have a feeling we'll see a pullback, and that might be the last great opportunity to buy Tesla stock before it really explodes in 2025. So now in 2025, I can see them announcing 2 more factories. Tesla's going to need to build the factories. They have a plan to get to 20 million vehicles produced by 2030. So opening up 2 factories every other year makes a good rhythm and a pace to get on for their strategy. So I think 2 new factories will be coming in 2025, even if it's just a build of them and not even starting to ramp and produce. Not sure where they'd be located, maybe a 3rd one in the US, maybe South America. There's a lot of different factors involved there, so I'm totally not sure. And between these factories being built and all the previous factories that they have, they're probably going to be around that 7 to 8 million vehicles produced in 2025. It might be higher. I like to play things conservatively, but I think 7-8 million vehicles based on Elon's 50% projection numbers is about correct. And what's really going to make the exponential growth of this company explode in 2025 is FSD. We're going to be hitting level 5 in 2025. That's my projections, not a fact. Don't hold me to it, but if I'm right, check out this video later. So I think 2025 is when we're going to hit full level 5 autonomy. And when we do that, robotaxis can start being discussed in Congress. There's going to be a lot of push for, hey, we're at level 5 autonomy, can we make this legal? So 2025, we may hear discussions in 2024 about it, but 2025 is when we're really going to get into the legalities of it. And I know here in the US, it usually goes state by state, but they might just make it a national law that legalizes full autonomy. And why that makes such a big deal at that time is because now, when it goes legal, that is when investors and analysts can say, all right, I can now put a price target and a price point on the valuation of full self-driving and robotaxis. And they can work those numbers in more concrete, and then they'll have, in their terms, a linear progression with robotaxis involved. So while their numbers are going to be linear, we're still looking at exponential growth because of the fact that we're factoring in robotaxis now. And once these analysts can put numbers on it, we're going to see enormous booms in price targets. I mean, we may see price targets that are doubling the current price target that they're at that time. So that's going to be huge, and that's what's really going to help this stock take off yet again, similar to what it did in 2020 and 2021. And then a great piece about the FSD going legal is Tesla at that point will start, selling the FSD to other manufacturers. And they'll say, hey, I will license it out to you and pay us for this. So Tesla will get a lot of extra profits coming in because there's a lot of manufacturers who won't have FSD of their own. So Tesla will license it to them. Hey, you don't have it? This is how well ours is working. We'll sell it to you so that you can use it, so that you can help your drivers be safer as well. And with full autonomy hitting, that's when the EV revolution is really going to take off, and people are going to be like, all right, now there's a world of difference now between EVs and ICE vehicles, and we're going to see about a 40% EV adoption rate in 2025. And this is also what we're going to see the top EV players start to emerge. And this is going to be anybody who is able to get to this point will be able to then build their companies further. Anybody else who is not able to cling on and be there this long, they're going to start falling to the wayside, and you'll see some companies getting bought out. You'll see some companies just going under altogether, and that's the turning point in 2025. And the same is going to hold true with these gas stations. A lot of these gas stations that were holding out and either chose not to put in charging stations or just couldn't because they didn't have the money to do so are going to start folding as well, and you'll see more and more traditional gas stations disappearing. And I think by 2025, Tesla will have a better feel of how to get insurance to everyone. So half of the US will be having insurance in 2025. And again, energy for Tesla is going to be pushing over $2 billion in 2025 as revenue. And part of that is because of the Tesla ecosystem that is created. And so people are going to be buying Teslas. More people buy Teslas, more people are buying all the other stuff. And people are like, well, I've got a Tesla, I'm going to get myself Tesla Solar. And with the housing market boom that we're going through currently, I think there's going to be a lot of people doing new builds, and a lot more new builds are going to be taking on Tesla Solar. And with all of this excitement behind robotaxis and full self-driving, there's going to be so many positive catalysts in 2025. The stock price is going to boom again, and we will see another 5-to-1 split. And all of these add-ons and with FSD, margins are going to be about 40% in 2025, and that's not even including the robotaxis and full self-driving that are really going to start taking off in 2026. And so my price target projection for the end of 2025 is going to be $200. And that would be $5,000 pre both splits. So if you were calculating it from today's price, that would be $5,000 or 5x from where we are today. Let me know in the comments below what you think your projections are for 2024 and 2025. Tomorrow we will be discussing 2026 and 2027 and seeing where robotaxis can take us from there. Thank you all so much. I will see you tomorrow.